Hey guys, Axelmyth here, and this video might seem that it's just kind of thrown together, and it really is. I'm not even gonna lie, but back from 2011, 2015, I was really interested in doing a Zelda parody. Ended up doing a Majora's Mask one that was received with a giant thumbs down, and that's all right. I admit it has its problems. You know, I did that like 10 years ago, almost at this point. I definitely started some of those scenes 10 years ago. And then after that, I decided to do this Ocarina of Time parody that never really left off the ground. I did shoot 2 sequences that made a scene, and basically what was missing was the water temple from Ocarina of Time. That was literally what I started with shooting wise, mostly because I was at the location and I had an idea of what I wanted, so I just shot that, and then I thought, well, I'll fit it into this later. And never really came for that parody, unfortunately. And like, I kind of watched that recently, and the cinematography for it being by myself basically wasn't really that bad. So the context of it is that this Link was supposed to be kind of arrogant, especially when he grew up after pulling the sword. And that kind of led to a squabble between him and the fairy Navi. And Navi would end up leaving Link by himself inside the Ice Cavern. And this is what I thought up.
Jeez, it's cold.
You must travel to the well in Kakariko.
The well?
There you will get the lens of truth, so you can see the unseen.
Link, found you in the Ice Cavern. Thought you needed help. Your friend Shiek. P.S. Enjoy the water temple.
time for Kakariko, Navi. This is a survival. Every man for himself. Hey, sir. What? Sir, do you know where Kakariko Village is? What's that? Kakariko Village. It's a village. Wow. It's that way. Oh. Thanks. Idiot.
Yeah, the Ice Cavern was literally one giant Star Wars joke. The candle was supposed... So, first off, the candle was actually supposed to, like, unfreeze Zora's domain. I don't think I ever really thought of that, because the Ice Cavern was shot during that winter, and then the next sequence was shot during the next summer. They were like 6 months apart, and I don't think I actually remembered the candle. I think I would have probably done something with that later if I had a chance, but anyway. And then that last little bit at, trying to find Kakariko, I thought it'd been funny to do like a survival thing. That was literally at my grandparents' house, and like there's a lake right by my grandparents' house, and that's where I shot the dock stuff. I didn't think that at least that second part turned out horrible, because that's the part I was shooting all by myself. And then shortly after that, I wanted to do this Zelda 2 parody. I wrote up a storyboard, and which also kind of worked as the script. And that's mostly what I wanted to talk about, because this is pretty much never before seen stuff of me, of failed parodies that I wanted to do, never got around to. But I feel like to understand basically any of these parodies, you kind of have to have an understanding of what inspired me to make these in the first place. First off, probably the first one I found was Orange Spy 121, Legend of Zelda. And these parodies, the first two were just kind of what, by themselves, just kind of making fun of different aspects of Zelda. And then basically from 3 to 8 were Ocarina of Time parodies. And that's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to do something like that. And he really made me feel like I could do a parody and not have a budget, because like he wasn't trying to go for like the medieval aesthetic that normal Zelda stuff does. He was just, it was like him and a couple friends just grabbed a camera and were shooting parodies in his backyard, you know what I mean? And I really liked that about those parodies. If I was going to recommend one, first off, I'd recommend you be like at least 15 to watch these. But I'd recommend watching number 7, because that's probably one of the better ones, in my opinion. Number 8 is also pretty good, but that's also like an hour long. So, anyway. So the next one is Stupid Mario Brothers, and I don't really have a particular episode I recommend, but these guys had such a do-it-yourself kind of passion project vibe to their entire first series. And that is what I honestly want to emulate, because this was the stuff I wanted to make. You know what I mean? This was the stuff I was hell-bent on making a Zelda parody, but it just never happened. So a little while after that Ocarina of Time parody, I wanted to do a Zelda 2 parody, and it never really lifted off the ground. And for one reason is like I didn't know how to drive at the time, and that was like the biggest issue of me doing these parodies is that I had no transportation, and I honestly didn't feel like I could bother my parents to do this for me. So I wanted to give a little context for each of these scenes, and this first one was honestly going to be the second scene of this parody. Basically, how it was going to go was that this was just after Zelda 1, basically, and Link comes in, he's made a sandwich or made them dinner or something. He's like, Zelda, hey Zelda, let's go out to eat, and then she's asleep. So then he's a little irritated, so he just like kind of turns around, walks out the door, and goes on this quest. You know what I mean?
Huh? Where's my boomerang?
Yeah, you better stay off my turf!
Can't believe there's a quest like this. Well, no use in complaining about it. Let's go.
Alright, so this next scene took place quite a bit after the first one. If I'm correct, I think it was almost towards the end of the parody, come to think about it. But basically, this old man was supposed to be the same one from the first Zelda, and for some reason Link has to basically come back to him for like more training or whatever. And the last inspiration I want to list here, and I don't recommend this one until you're at least 17 or 18, but it's called The Legend of Neil, and it's more raunchy than really anything. Basically, near the end of their series, they had this training montage with Link and the old man, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever. So I really wanted to try to do something like that, and he just kind of calls out, "Montage time!" And I don't think we ever got to shoot that. And it was originally going to take place right after the last scene, montage time. And basically what that was going to be was Link and the old man saying their goodbyes. The reason why we never shot any of that was basically because the camera was dying that day. Like, I think it was like last bar red flashing, and we still had to walk home. I think we only shot for like an hour that day. But either way, camera battery dies. There's nothing you can really do about it, especially when it's your only battery. So this last one is basically the pulling of the magic sword, because the Master Sword wasn't in Zelda 2. Again, this was supposed to be right after Zelda 1, so it was going to be the magic sword. I'm not even going to lie, this was basically an excuse so that I could have my own pulling Master Sword scene. And this was the fruits of that.
Alright. Time correct. It should be exactly like last time. Northwest, southwest. South. Magic sword. Wow. Well, let's grab it.
So to give a little bit of commentary on that, almost every Zelda parody had a Lost Woods joke where they just go between different, basically different parts of the same woods or whatever. And I wanted to do something like that, but the problem is that the camera was literally dying, and I just wanted to kind of get through that. So I just kind of created, this was all obviously after Zelda 1, so I just, made Link know where he was going after doing it already, I guess. The pulling of the sword I thought was shot pretty okay. There was, when I'm swinging it after, there's like one shot in there that I would have definitely done differently if I had been given the time, and if I had reviewed that shot, I would have made us do it again. And then that close-up on my hand, I really wish that I had done differently, or that I really wish that I had seen that, because that was an awful shot. But that's what I had to work with to edit this thing. So yeah, these were all basically edited together the best I could, and the way I kind of originally envisioned it. Maybe the music would have been different, I don't know, but I hope you kind of enjoyed this never really before seen look at, Zelda parodies that just never were. Please join me on another video, but until then, this is Axelmyth, and I'll see you guys later.